Hey everyone, this is Peggy and Murphy. Welcome to our Bible study on the book of Revelation. We are using David Jeremiah's book titled Revelation, and we are currently, believe it or not, finally on lesson 10. Um, this is a great lesson. If you haven't joined in, please join in and feel free to go back and listen to the prior ones.
hmm
Um, this is a 12-week session that somehow Murphy and I have been able to make it a 20-week, I think, or maybe more. I don't know for real. But it's we are now in the chapter that Babylon falls.
hmm
And we're not really in week 19, like a lot of his go with his lesson number,
hmm
but there is so much wealth of knowledge in this book. And
hmm
if you go slow enough, you're really able to understand more
Yes.
about it, and you're able to understand how the judgments come about and why they're
Mhm.
needed. Because a
Yes.
lot of times people will think, oh, God's just a judgmental God. Well, he is, but he is also a very gracious and merciful
Mhm.
Savior.
hmm
He gives chances like you would not believe.
Yes. I
And
can testify to that.
yeah, exactly. And so, anyway, there's just so much information ready. And of course, we probably have missed something. We will never know the full bounty of God's word. But
Yes.
um, Murphy and I are not scholars by any
No.
means. And excuse me here. Um, we just want to be a witness for Christ, and we
hmm
want to lead others to a Christ that can give them the grace and the help and the strength to make it
Right.
through the hard times of their life. I mean,
Right.
Murphy and I have gone through some things for sure,
hmm
and we can testify that, we make it through however we're willing to listen to God to make it
Right.
through.
Right.
So if people don't accept Christ as their savior, then you know what? They will suffer loss and they will
hmm
suffer pain in a
hmm
catastrophic event,
Yes.
for unbelief. So the following is replacing the worship and the beast.
hmm
That's what has happened in Revelation. The
hmm
worship for God has been rerouted at
Yeah.
Satan's desire to
Yeah.
have God's position.
Right.
And he's going to have God's position, so he thinks. It's
hmm
a mockery, it's a copy, and
Yes.
it's not the real thing.
Right.
So for me, today's lesson is just full of excitement, and a point of combined information for the ending of that tribulation period. We're
hmm
getting close to the end of the book of Revelation, and we're going to see some really interesting things happen today that is in the worldwide system.
hmm
I've said before, we tend to think of the United States, which is where we live,
hmm
as the world, but
Right.
it's not. It's, and this system that's going on is going to be a worldwide system. And Murphy and I have talked about this a lot, that it's not going to boil down to one little city in our United States. It's
hmm
actually going to boil down to
The
um,
world.
the the world, yeah, over in Europe, and
Yeah.
where the whole Babylon and
hmm hmm
ruling of the Romans
hmm
began. So it's
hmm
going to go back to there as far as a specific spot.
Right.
Um, so this place is settled as the Antichrist operating, excuse me, out of three locations.
hmm
Okay, he's going to be in Rome.
hmm
That's the political base.
hmm
He is going to operate in Jerusalem. That's the religious place. And the
hmm
last place is Babylon. That's the
hmm
commercial and the financial place. This is his, these places are his base.
Right.
Okay, so when I say those are his, he is going to present them through another.
Yes.
He's staying in the background trying to
Hmm.
manipulate and pull the strings. So he is staying back there. And these that are becoming the center of this lesson, there's a woman, there's a beast, there's 10 kings, and 7 heads.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
fortunately for my husband, I only have one head. He'd be like, yeah, I can't listen to all that.
Yeah.
So,
Whatever, Peggy.
so Murphy, as our co-host, start us out.
All right. Um, as Peggy told us, we are taking a bit longer, twice as long, I guess we could actually say, than others might. We just hope you're understanding in this deliberateness because, as Peggy said, we're not scholars. So we want to really get an understanding of everything so that we know what we're saying can help others know and understand God and understand this time in Revelation and all that's going on. Um, you know, some of the information David Jeremiah gives us in this Bible study book is in a preaching series, and it tells us how the false religions that we're going to reference and talk about way back to Nimrod. And oh my goodness gracious, when I started researching all of this and Nimrod and who all of that was, I was like, okay, Egypt, Greek, Rome, okay, each of those are different times and different nations, and but they're different names, not for Nimrod, but yes, I think some of them were different names for Nimrod too, but also the wives of who they were. And it's crazy. But he references to mimic God. He has the one woman, and I'm so sorry, I cannot remember what the wife's name of this one was, but her son dies and he's resurrected, and they use this to try to mimic the death and resurrection of Christ. And hopefully, with a little extra information, will help you understand some of this when we speak about it today. At the beginning of every chapter, David Jeremiah always asks about getting started question. And this time he asks us, how much do we know about Babylon? Well, obviously, I didn't know hardly anything. I've heard of it and I heard it's bad, or whatever, but I've never really heard or noticed or read that much about it. And one of the things, it was all about the money plus so much more. I mean, of course, it's money and sex and all bad. Um, but there is also one of the things I do remember is him saying something about in one of the sermons he preached on. He said something about how we need to have Daniel. We need to study Daniel because without Daniel, Revelation will not make as much sense to us as a layperson, but even as pastors, probably too. But in Daniel 4:30, King Nebuchadnezzar declared, is not this great Babylon that I have built for royal dwelling by my mighty power and for the honor of my majesty? Note the words I, royal dwelling, mighty power, man's power. Does that not tell you
Mm-hmm.
what Babylon is all about? But golly geez, and I hate to say this, but sometimes I think kind of says a lot about our time right now too. But Peg, you want to share anything on this? Because I can get going on this, and I don't
Yeah, I
want to.
hear you. Yeah, I totally agree when it said something about Babylon. And, I read my Bible a lot and I study a lot, but I haven't zoned in on the whole Babylon
Oh.
influence.
Mhm.
I remember it being, of course, the Tower of Babel. I remember
Yes.
that, which
Yes.
was discussed in the video from David Jeremiah's Living
Hmm.
Point Plus. I think the title of that one was The End of Religion. The one that we're
Okay.
doing right now is titled. So if you have Turning Point Plus, I very encourage you to get it.
Yeah.
You'll be able to listen to his sermons and his
Hmm.
lessons. So if you think about it, Murphy, when you were talking and he was like, I, this, I was
Yes.
thinking to myself, wow, how selfish.
Hmm.
Sometimes I'll write an email or something and I will notice how many times I put I and me in there. And I'm like, okay, Peggy, go back and just stop. It's not about you.
Hmm.
And but that's what these people are doing. And you'll see in this chapter how much they are so proud of themselves.
Yep.
It's nothing but themselves,
Hmm.
and Satan lets the control go in that direction
Hmm.
because it benefits him.
Yes.
So we wanted to see that Satan's master plan was God's place, and he had a status, and he was wanted to be loving. He didn't care about being loving and caring and merciful. He
Hmm.
cared about the power and the
Yes.
protecting
Yes.
things that he wanted. So three words really
Mm.
stand out to me
Yeah.
is and I know that you guys know them. It's the omnipresent, omnipotent, and omnis. Help me out, Murphy.
Omni.
Omniscient.
I can't say it now.
Something like that. I know. I just messed up Murphy, so now she can't say it. But these words describe God, you
Hmm.
know, in just three words. But God is everything. God is in his place. This
Hmm.
whole realm is God. And we're going to
Hmm.
see that in this lesson.
Hmm.
And this lesson is actually like the result of self indulgence.
Yes.
If you've ever had a time in your life where you self indulged, and
Ouch.
I'm not talking about ice cream, y'all. Um, um, although,
Oh,
now that I
good.
think about it,
Oh,
now,
good.
yeah, this is so much self-indulgence,
Hmm.
pridefulness.
Yes.
I'm just really ready to dive into this lesson, Murphy, and share it with
Okay.
our listeners. So let's go in and do that. And you know what, Murphy? Thank you for being the reader. Y'all
Oh,
would
you're very welcome.
y'all would
Sorry, I
not
got to
want
get
me
my
to
book.
read.
Go on and read. Is that what you said?
Yes, and go ahead
Okay.
and read.
Okay. Let me grab my readers again, of course. Sorry, y'all. Again, we're not scholars here. Okay, let's see. This is 17, 1 through 7. Then one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls came and talked with me, saying to me, Come, I will show you the judgment of the great harlot who sits on many waters, with whom the kings of the earth committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth were made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on the scarlet beast, which was full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls, having in her hand a golden cup full of abominations and the filthiness of her fornication, and on her forehead a name was written: Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I marveled with great amazement. But the angel said to me, Why did you marvel? I will tell you the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carries her, which has the 7 heads and 10 horns. Wow. That's a
Hmm.
lot. I mean, think about that. That's a
Yeah.
lot in those few verses we just read. So, anyway, um like like I said, that's it's like what, 7 verses or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
If we look to the Old Testament verses and information, we can understand more of what's being stated here. Do you want to go over that, Peggy, for us and kind of clue us in, guide us through this stuff? Because
Yeah.
you really do a good job on that.
Oh, thank you so much. I do want to. I'm really glad that you mentioned the Old Testament, because, like you said, Daniel is important to
Yes.
Revelation, and the the belief that I have is that you have to study the scriptures as a whole. You
Yes.
can't take one section, one verse, a couple of words. You can't take those out of context
Mm-hmm.
and build around them. I
Right.
mean, you can take a word and build around it, but it has to be in the context of the verse and the
Yes.
chapter, you know? So we need to do that no matter what we're dealing with. And
Yes.
we should do that with Revelation too. In my early years, as a follower of Christ, I wondered about this section of scripture and this
Mm-hmm.
woman, this
Mm-hmm.
mother of harlots.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow. And I took it literally,
Yes. Me too. Me
you
too.
know, as a literal harlot or prostitute. So whenever I read it, I didn't really understand it and I didn't take the time to research it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was merely reading the scriptures, and I'm sure you all do that too. But these verses open the whole study with one of the angels with bold judgments.
Mm-hmm.
And we see this great harlot. She's
Mm-hmm.
got 7 heads
Yeah.
and 10 horns,
Yeah.
and she's sitting on many waters.
Yes.
As John was carried away by the angel into the wilderness, um, what really struck me was that she was using a gold cup. Get this. I am a cup person because I love coffee. This,
Yes, she is.
no kidding, y'all, this is so intense.
Mm-hmm.
What was in her cup? It was filled with evil obscenities,
Mm-hmm.
foul and sordid grime and adultery and sexual relations, an affair. Um, Plus, get this, she's drunk
Yeah.
with blood of the saints and the
Mm-hmm.
martyrs.
Mm-hmm.
When
Yeah.
I saw that, I was like, because most of us understand what being drunk is. It's not just being a little bit tipsy.
Yeah.
Being drunk is not being able to function properly.
Exactly.
Your body doesn't respond to your mindful directions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so she's drunk. She's actually drunk with this blood.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's blood, the martyrs, and the beast with 7 heads and 7 horns. John marveled at it. And
Mm-hmm.
I kind of sort of get it,
Mm-hmm.
because it was like, wow, she's all arrayed in all this royalty looking
Mm-hmm.
outfit and, a gold
Mm-hmm.
cup. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, like any human, it's
Mm-hmm.
easy to look at things that sparkle and
Mm-hmm.
be in awe about it.
Right.
But I found something interesting on the web, and sure, I know we need to be careful about our references, and I try
Right.
very hard to do that. And I did look through the Greek dictionary, and I wondered and I was amazed about the word marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's astonished, out of one's senses,
Okay.
awestruck, and wondering very greatly,
Okay.
sort of to cause you to wonder.
Yes.
I took
Yes.
that and I reversed what I thought of the meeting and looked at it according to what was being shown to John.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
to John. I started to say
Yeah.
Peter.
Yeah.
Uh, to John. And I realized that, you can be in awe of bad
Hmm.
things. Um, you can be in awe of evil.
Yes.
But here's a more detailed breakdown from my sort of kind of friend AI. Y'all, I'm not influenced with AI a whole lot. I come from
No.
a generation that
Yeah. Mm-mm.
is not
Mm-mm.
AI
Mm-mm. No.
supportive.
I don't
I mean,
really
it's
want AI
okay.
telling me what to do and everything or what's
Exactly.
the best.
I'm too controlling to have somebody tell me what to do all the time.
Ooh. I'll keep my mouth shut on that.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it. So, in this vision, John sees a woman representing a corrupt religious and political system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's intoxicated by the blood of the Christians.
Mm-hmm.
So, John's reaction is that he is deeply astonished, and he's indicating a mixture of horror and amazement at this
Yes.
wickedness. And
Yes.
so the angel, praise God for the angel. The angel then explains to him that the woman and the beast that carries her,
Mm-hmm.
suggesting that John's astonishment will be lessened as he's understanding. And I have to totally, absolutely agree with that. And I think you will too, Murphy,
Mm-hmm.
because once you understand something, it puts everything into context.
Yes.
The
Yes.
allness, if that's even a word, the allness kind of changes
Yes.
from wow, I'm like taken back by that. It's
Yep.
beautiful or whatever. It changes it. The understanding changes it to be the reality of sin
Yes.
and the pain and the suffering and the evilness, just straight up
Mm-hmm.
evil of what it
Mm-hmm.
is.
Yep.
So, according to the Bible commentaries, the term marvel, I already said this, emphasized the shocking and awe-inspiring nature of the vision. So here, I mean, for my last point on this, Murphy, is highlighting the extent of evil and the need for believers to remain steadfast in our faith.
Oh,
You know,
you are so right. You are so right about that.
evil just evil can engulf you,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to stay steadfast in your
Yeah.
faith.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to tell you I've never been what I feel engulfed in
Yeah.
evil and um allowing myself and my mind to take the wrong trail. I mean,
Yep.
Murphy, you're
It
my,
would be wonderful to be able to say that,
yeah,
but I
but
can't.
I can't either. So we need to remain steadfast in our faith,
Yep.
steadfast in our faith. So, yeah, Murphy, I'm going to turn that over to you. And
Okay. Thanks. Leaving me there. Thanks.
you're welcome. I figured that was a good spot to leave you.
Well, first of all, let me address the thing about John being marveled. I totally agree with you. It's not a marvel of, oh, wow, that's awesome. It's a marvel of, oh, wow, hold on. This
Yeah.
is truly a mystery and understanding. And he sees the woman drunk with the blood. And I know you've already said that in the martyrs. And when I read that, my thought went,
Mhm.
oh, no, who is representing this woman is representing the harlot and so much more sinfulness. It just, and like you said, she's drunk with the blood. That just really, oh, it sends something horrible throughout me. I
Yes.
can't, and like you said, drunkenness, they're all about slurring and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
this is the saints, and she's drinking their blood. And
Hmm.
this was really, really hard for me. And I can understand that amazement.
Mm-hmm.
Not an amazement of, oh, wow, this is awesome, but rather, oh no, how can you celebrate the death of these people? That really, really hurts my heart,
Mm-hmm.
as I like to say sometimes when things
Yeah.
hurt. It's,
Selfish, prideful. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely, Murphy.
yep, yep. Let me get into the scriptures and I'll quit enunciating more for what you already said.
That's okay. Bring it on.
Did you hear that word, man?
I did. I'm gonna have to go look that
Okay.
up.
All right, let's do 17:8 through 18. Now the beast that you saw was and is not, and will ascend out of the bottomless pit and go to perdition. And those who dwell on the earth will marvel, whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they see the beast that was and is not and yet is. Here is the mind which has wisdom. The seven heads are seven mountains on which the woman sits. There are also seven kings. Five have fallen, one is, and the other has not yet come. And when he comes, he must continue a short time. The beast was, and is not, and is himself also the eighth, and is of the seven, and is going to perdition. The 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have received no kingdom as yet, but they receive authority for 1 hour as kings with the beast. These are of one mind, and they will give their power and authority to the beast. These will make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb will overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and those who are with him are called chosen and faithful. Then he said to me, the waters which you saw where the harlots sit, where the harlot sits, and peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues, and the 10 horns which you saw on the beast, these will hate the harlot, make her desolate and naked, eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For God has put it into their hearts to fulfill his purpose, to be of one mind, and to give their kingdom to the beast, until the words of God are fulfilled. And the woman whom you saw is the great city which reigns over the kings of the earth. Okay, Peggy,
That's
you wanna you wanna give us some more information here and tell us what's going on, or there's
well,
a lot there. There's a
yeah,
lot there.
a whole bunch
So if
there.
you can break it down for us, that'd be awesome.
Okay, let me think this through a moment.
Yeah,
Um, okay, so you read those scriptures and let's see.
17:8 through 18.
Yes, and
Okay.
I was just going to review this one part. Um, the mountains, that was really interesting to me that the mountains and the seven heads was the
Mm-hmm.
mountains.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the
Mm-hmm.
mountains being, and I did not know this, the mountains representing in Rome, there are
Mm-hmm.
some mountains, and they do represent the whole Babylon scene.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that. That was something
Me
that I
neither.
learned through,
Yeah.
looking this up. So
Yep.
then it started making even more sense that
Yes.
things are over there in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So um
Yes.
so anyways, I thought about that. That was something that really struck me. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm sorry, I'm missing something here. So here's my quick comment. The woman makes her
Mm-hmm.
way as she becomes the sole authority.
Mm-hmm.
Now she thinks she's pretty special
Mm-hmm.
because she's got this full authority that
Mm-hmm.
Satan has given her. The
Mm-hmm.
Antichrist has given her this
Mm-hmm.
full authority. So
Mm-hmm.
here she is. She's over the religious, the economic,
Mm-hmm.
and the commercialism.
Yes.
Okay. And she's standing on the sea, as Murphy told us, which would be
Yeah.
the seven mountains in Rome.
Right. Right.
If you think about it, say you've been in a job and you've been there for a long time, and um, you all of a sudden get this promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just a simple promotion, it's like a
Mm-hmm.
big departmental, um,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even a regional
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. There you go.
And you get pretty proud of yourself. I mean, it's human nature. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that you shouldn't be proud of yourself,
No.
because I think you can have a godly pride.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Mm-hmm.
our human nature is not so godly pride. But Babylon is the last city that the beast is going to operate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Babylon. And Babylon, like we just said, is over in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to operate from this position during the tribulation. We haven't seen all of the
Okay.
tribulation yet. It's still more
No.
to come.
It's yeah.
But remember, Rome is her political base. It
Yes.
is Jerusalem is her religious base,
Mm-hmm.
and Babylon is the commercial and financial base.
Right.
And then these 10 horns that are 10 kings.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure they're pretty proud of themselves. They're kings, and they're getting ready to have their power.
Mm-hmm.
But here's this: 1 hour, they get power for 1 hour.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, really? Even if that's not a power, even if that's not an hour that we go by, if it's an hour of a day, since
That's not long.
yeah, since
It's just
Daniel
one, no matter what it
yeah,
is, whether it's a
it's just
day, a
one.
month, or whatever, or a
Right.
year, it's
It's
just one.
one. So
So,
another
yeah,
interesting thing was that they are given this power from the Antichrist.
yeah.
And they think they're all good and buddy up, and
Mm-hmm.
this is
Mm-hmm.
all wonderful.
Yep.
They don't even realize that their um, doom is coming.
Yeah.
They don't realize it.
Uh-uh.
So,
No.
but all of the kings do have one mind.
Mm-hmm.
They are agreed on their thoughts. They're agreed on the processes,
Mm-hmm.
but they are going to make war with the Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to a point that the Lamb, you get to a point that God says, okay, you know what? That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so sad when I think about that. And I think about how some people take some of these scriptures and they may talk about them. And, even Murphy and I will sit here and we may make a joke of our personal nature. But
Mm-hmm.
if you think about it, this is so important. It is so not a joking manner.
No, it's not.
This is real. This is realistic. It's not, these things that are going to happen are not symbolic. These things
Mm-hmm.
are really going to
They're
happen.
real. Yeah.
Yeah, it's real.
What is
And
it?
so, yeah.
They're really, really for real, Mima. That was one of the things that the kids used to say. Really for real, Mima. Oh gosh. So sorry. Just
No,
popped
no, go
in my head when
ahead.
you were
Go
talking.
ahead.
No, go ahead. I just agree with what you're saying. And
Hmm.
it is just for a limited time, but even if it is for 1 year, that's still a very limited time. I mean, and the funny thing is they're fighting the lamb. And I know you've heard this throughout your Christian walk, that the lamb, he's the lamb, God is the lamb, and he lies down, in the pasture for us and stuff like that. But you don't think of a lamb as being a warrior. And
Right.
but honestly, he is the supreme power. He
Mhm.
and he calls these children, here you are, you know his children, and they're going to fight with him. Well, we've been called and we've been chosen by him, y'all. Not that he only chooses certain people, but when we believe in him,
Mm-hmm.
we are called, chosen, and faithful. And so we need to remember that. And this isn't a war that we're going to lose. We will not lose. And I know that um, the evil one, thinks he's going to win out here. He's not. He is so built on his own self that he
Mm-hmm.
can't help but think he can win it all. Um, and also, did you notice also how the waters were called people? They were the people.
I know that. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that back out
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that was eye-opening.
yeah,
It
yeah. I
was
was
very
too. What was it?
eye-opening.
I read a commentary that said the woman ruled over many waters, meaning many nations, peoples. So this helped. That really helped me understand um, how what it meant by the waters, and it was really peoples. It was waters meaning many different nations and stuff like that. I think, isn't that true?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, but yeah, and they turned on her big time, didn't they?
They did, and we're going to see more of that. We're going to close out today's lesson here and come back to you probably thinking around verse 17,
Part of what we just read. Yeah.
part of what we just talked about.
Yeah.
So we'll break that down a little bit and
Okay.
hopefully we can get into chapter 18. And but yeah, we're gonna say goodbye for now. And
Yes.
we appreciate you all listening and hope that you're enjoying it. Please drop us a line. Um, you can
Yes.
find us, of
Yes.
course, if you found this on the web, then you can
Hmm.
find our website and you can comment, send us a comment, give us a shout out, give us a like. We just really appreciate you all
Hmm.
listening and joining us.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you and talk
We'll
to
see you next
y'all
time.
later. Yeah,
Or you'll see us next time
right,
talking.
right. We'll be back.
Bye. Yes. Bye bye.